What's up, my bladed brothers and sisters? Been a while since I made a video, I know. Been kind of busy and just haven't had time, and it's been raining. I plan on doing this today. It was raining just a few minutes ago. I think I have a break, so I'm gonna try to get this done in the meantime. So I'd just like to start this video off by saying people send me some knives from time to time to test out, and that is quite an honor. And this time, I am blessed to have this new coffin nail design made by Carmack at Carmack Designs, I think is the name of his company. And I would just like to say that this is a beautiful knife. It's one of the coolest knives I've received. It's very well done. The grinds on it are nice. The finish is great. It has a slight darkened tip at the moment, and that is from either leaving your knife in the target, which I did not do, or just from my cottonwood rounds. They have a lot of moisture, and that's what happens if you don't wipe off your knife and let it dry. But I will show you the tip after I'm done with this session, and that will be gone, I promise. I'm glad that I got this. This is a prototype, by the way. He is already aware that this should be thicker. This could potentially break. Will it break? Maybe, maybe not. Could it? Definitely. Now, I'm glad that I got the opportunity to test this one, because I have experience with a knife just like this. Well, similar. First of all, this knife is very tip heavy, as you can tell by the design. And when I first started throwing, my first set of knives was a Griffin. And at the time, I really liked knives with scales. So I decided to put scales on my Bill Page Griffins. Well, that threw off the balance quite a bit. Had I been throwing them no spin at the time, it wouldn't have made too much of a difference, but I was throwing rotational. And what that did was it put so much weight on the handle that my blade throws and my handle throws were almost at the exact same spot. There was no 3 foot in between like there usually is, or 1 meter, which is about 39 inches. So I'm gonna go, oh, yeah. I'm only criticizing this because I would like to see it improve. I would like to see a lot more weight here, or it distributed better. And I'm not knocking this knife at all. Like I said, this is a prototype, and I would just like to see it improve a little bit. Who knows? Maybe he intended on it being that tip heavy. I actually don't know. So I'm going to go through some underhand half spins, some no spins, and some rotational throws, which I'm going to do at 2.5 and 3 spin, so you can really see how close those throws are, and I think it might be surprising. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with this the first day I got this, and I let some of my friends throw it, and it takes some getting used to. This is not a beginner knife the way it is. It is not. It takes some skill to get used to. Anyway, here we go. I'm gonna move the camera so we can get some better angles. Okay, got the camera set back up a little bit closer. First thing I'm gonna do is show you some no spin. Now, the way I usually hold no spin, it's kind of like this. So it's a little odd with the cutout there, but it's not too much to get past, but it's different. And it took me a while to figure out no spin. Now, as far as I know, the only other tip heavy no spin knife out there is one of the arrowhead knives. I can't remember the name. Busby, I'm sorry. But it's made by Michael Busby at Busby Blades. Anyway, let's go through some no spin here. Like I said, this took a while to figure out, but the other cool, unique thing about this is the cutout. Now, it gives you audible feedback on your throws. Now, if your knife's twisting and it's traveling through the air sideways, like this, you're gonna get a lot of audible feedback. Oh, that's another thing. It does sing like a tuning fork. A little bit. Finger keeps getting wet. I'm going to throw from about 5 meters here. So since it's so tip heavy, it just requires a different grip and a different push. So yeah, no spit isn't too bad. Now I'm going to try to do some either overhand, half spin, or sidearm. See whatever works best. I didn't do this too much the other day. That was pretty good, actually. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that, but it's definitely whooshing. On a nice solid stick, you can hear it ring a little bit. Okay, now for some underhand half spins. Okay, now I'm going to go through some regular rotational distances, and I'm going to stand where I think I should stand. I'm going to move the camera real quick. Alright, I'm going to go through some rotational. I'm going to start at 1 and then move my way back, and then I'll have to reposition the camera to show you 2.5 and 3. The handle throws are actually really good, and at 1 spin I only have to step back about that far. Because it's so weighted at the tip, it almost throws like a tomahawk. A tomahawk kind of rotates out of your hand and pulls itself out of your hand. You don't have to flick it too much. Now the blade throws, however, it's quite a different animal. Blade throws, you have to give it that extra flick or it won't spin. But you can really hear that audible sound from that handle. 2 spin. Okay, so I'm normally right at the 5 meter line. I had to move back about 2.5 feet. My heel was on the 6 meter line for that throw. Hope you guys can hear that thunk. I mean, when you get your handle throws on, it sticks in really good. There's the tip again, as you can see, from sticking so deep and hard. It cleans it right up. Actually, I think he blued this thing in the first hour. I had this thing nice and polished. It was sweet. Anyway, I'm going to set up the camera again. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm going to throw my 2.5 and 3 spin, and this is going to, it'll be a really good example of what I'm talking about with the tip heavy so much. Be right back. Okay, now I'm going to show 2.5 and 3 spin and why this should be weighted slightly different. So normally I would throw my 2.5 spin here. Now with this knife, I have to move back to here, which is that's a good 5 feet. Now I've played with this quite often, and if you guys can count this in the air and tell me differently, let me know. Yeah, it's about 7.5 meters. Took me a minute to dial in there. Okay, one more time. And this time I'm going to throw 2.5, and then I'm going to come right back and I'm going to throw 3. So you just saw where I was standing. Now I'm going to stand up against my fence, which is maybe a foot further. See what I mean? I go from here for a 3 spin to here for a 2.5. 3, 2.5. One more time. 2.5. Should have practiced a little bit before doing this video. 2.5. This is 3. Anyway, thank you, Casey Carmack, for the opportunity to test this knife. I am no way knocking this knife. I think it's a great design. It just needs tweaked a little bit. Then again, I don't exactly know. Maybe you meant it to be that tip heavy. But sorry it took so long for the video. Been busy, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, peace everybody.